Okay, you guys wanted to know something that I know that you wanted to tell your kids when you get to be 80 years old?
Of course you do.
So they asked me this morning Barbara asked me last night if I missed. Come on in, Jenny. She asked me last night if I missed having Arvid around. And I said, well, not necessarily, not really. Oh, she said, well, I think maybe because he was so sick so long, maybe when he died, I just let him die. I don't know. But then I got thinking about that, and you know, it's in there in the kitchen on one side of the table where the Christmas tree is. Well, that's where he always sat. He was always there. In fact, after he died, the guy across the street came over and he just had to have an excuse to come into the house. And when he came into the house, he looked over there where Arvid always sat and wondered about it. But anyway, I was thinking, well, if he was here and we had all this noise going on, he'd be sitting there with the TV on, loud as it would roar, and every time the noise got heavier, he would turn the TV a little louder. After about 2 hours, he'd say, can't you do something with these kids? Then I got thinking, well, a while back, Raymond and I were going to do something, and he didn't know how to do it. He'd always, if he needed to do something, he'd always go to his dad. Even though his dad couldn't help him do it, he could tell him how to do it. And so we were trying to do this, and he couldn't figure out how to do it. And he says, why did that son of a gun have to die? He said. So then yesterday I was thinking, well, if he was here and the two Kens were trying to fix that light switch and all that stuff, then if Arvid had been sitting there, why, he would have told him what to do and he could have got it fixed, because he used to wire houses a long time ago when electricity first started going around, probably when he was in his early 20s, when they started putting electricity into houses. He and a brother-in-law wired about most of the houses in Saar, Alberta. So he would have known what to do and how to tell them to do it, and it could have all been done. So if they had known that, they'd have probably said, well, why did that son of a gun have to die? He wasn't here anymore. So that's about the way it is. And when people ask me, well, don't you feel bad? And strangely enough, I don't. I think a few days before he died, he was just sitting there, and all of a sudden he said, just think, he said, in a few days I'm going to be in the temple. I said, you are? Yeah, and then he looked kind of confused, like he didn't know why he said that. So I kind of let it drop, and then later on they said, so you think you're going to be in the temple, huh? Yeah, he said, I'm not sure. I said, was it the Oakland Temple? No, it's not the Oakland Temple. He said, it might have been the Jordan River Temple, but there was one that I didn't recognize. So I said, well, how can you be in the temple when you're dead? I don't know. So then the next day he said, well, I figured out how I could be in the temple when I'm dead. I said, how? And he said, because they have witnesses on each side of the veil, and he will be a witness on one side. But then I read a book recently where this girl, husband died, and a friend of hers told her that day or the next day she was in the temple, and that was the next day she was in the temple, and that guy was there, even though he died the day before. So, well, maybe they're there. So I don't know how much more you want.
What are you going to do? What's your plans? What's your thoughts? What's your plans for the future?
My plans for the future are like this. Maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll go to Colombia, maybe I'll go to China. Maybe I'll go on a mission, and then I think, well, they won't let me go on a mission unless I go with a partner, a companion, and I don't know how I could find a companion I could get along with, so maybe I won't do that. And I think about building some houses, and if there's enough money to do that. I don't know if I can do that either. So anyway, right at this point, my future's kind of up in the air, but I still want to write the short paper for the summer to give to the family. So that's going to keep me busy for a few months. I work in the Family History Center, and I'm buying books for the library, and I teach one woman English. So I don't think I'll have any trouble finding what to do. I just don't know what it's going to be. So, anything else?
Whatever. That's it?
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say that this being the first Christmas without Arvid, it's kind of nice having everybody here. Because it's, and especially his kids, because I don't know, when your husband dies, for a little while everything's the same, but then eventually it all changes. and I'm not quite sure how many of his kids will still be around, you know. I mean, still be around where I'll be connected with them, like Les's family. Oh, I don't know, for 5 years or more. They were where I could talk to them, or maybe only 3 years. And then pretty soon I never heard from them anymore, so it might turn out that way. So maybe all these people are here today will never get together again, I don't know. Except your mom says she's going to have the next reunion at her house in Florida, so we'll see. Maybe they'll all come back.